Good afternoon. This is an administrative hearing before the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing. Today is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. We are joined today by the Executive Director of the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing, Kathleen Joyce, and Director of Operations, Rebecca Fu. I will read each item on the agenda in the order that it appears. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee. I will ask who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department, whether there are any other individuals with knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify. After that, I will swear in all parties, and the police report will be read into the record. The licensee or their representative will have the opportunity to make a brief statement, followed by questions by the Executive Director and Director of Operations. All testimony will be limited only to those individuals with a firsthand personal knowledge of the alleged incident. We'll actually begin this afternoon with the second item on the agenda, as the first licensee is not present with us at the moment. Calling ZAA KFL LLC, doing business as Balearis Columbia, located at 28 Bennington Street in East Boston. Date of the incident was December 2nd, 2024. Loud music emanating into the neighborhood at 67 decibels after 11 p.m. The city's noise ordinance restricts noise levels above 50 decibels after 11 p.m. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Laura Pereañez.
Laura Pereañez.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Pereañez and Ms. Pereañez. Who's present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Detective William Gallagher.
Thank you. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Great. Sergeant Detective Gallagher, if you could please read the police report into the record for the division.
Good afternoon. On 12/2/2024 at about 11:10 p.m., Sergeant Detective William Gallagher, Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to the licensed premise unit, responded to Balearis Columbia at 28 Bennington Street with the complaints of loud music coming from the bar. These complaints were made to the licensing board at City Hall. As detectives were pulling up, they could hear amplified music coming from Balearis Columbia. Detectives parked, proceeded to the residential building across the street, front door of Balearis Columbia, and utilized a sound meter, which resulted in 67 decibels at 11:10 p.m. Boston City Noise Ordinance states that after 11 p.m., the decibel level in the city of Boston drops to 50 decibels for entertainment. Detectives proceeded inside Balearis Columbia and informed them of their findings. Management immediately lowered the volume. As a result, what detectives had observed, Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued license premise inspection notice number 01764 to Balearis Columbia for loud music emanating to the neighborhood at 57 decibels after 11 p.m. Mr. John Alvarez signed for and accepted the notice. I did include in the report a still photo of our sound meter across the street pointed at Balearis with 67 displayed in the decibel reader right there. That's it.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Detective Gallagher. Mr. Pereañez, Ms. Pereañez, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, we would. How are you?
Morning. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody, members of the board. Sergeant, is it true that every time I've been trying to call you and I call you directly and I say, hey, can you come down, and we put the meter, we make sure, and it's not always coming from me? Because when you're standing across the street, I'm not saying you're lying, because I will never say that, but when we're standing across the street, there's street business, there's Bohemios, La Terraza, and there's mine. And we stand. I understand that sometimes the music is loud, but we stand right there and we see, and the noise is still not, because we have tried multiple devices. Is that true?
That's true. We've gone down on a number of occasions, and there has not been a violation, and there has been loud music coming from loud. Well, so
and then I'm calling you. Because I call you and I say, look, detective, can you come down so we can read this? That's one. Number two, if I just want to let the members of the board that we did put another soundproof. I sent videos inside to Rebecca, Ms. Rebecca. I sent videos showing her the upgrade that we also did again, just to make sure, because one thing I don't want is have problem with the neighbors. That's number one. And I've been trying to work it, but I also send videos showing that it could be 7 at night or it could be at 2 o'clock in the night, at 2 in the morning. And with the music off, even across the street, it's always gonna go 55 to 60 just with the sound, because we have a lot of traffic. People go down the street with the music on, with the loud music on. People stand on the parking lot with music on, which is not our parking lot. It's a public parking lot, but there's nothing we can do. But I have tried the most that I can, everything I can do, to try to get this solved. I also called the board and said if they're across the street they want soundproof windows, I'm willing to do it. I don't mind. The neighbors said no, they didn't want it. But I'm just trying to let the board know that I have done everything to my capacity and work with the sergeant. So even when he's not called, I call him and say, Sergeant, can you come down and see what we can do? That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We'll see if there are any questions from the division. Director Joyce, Director Fu, any questions?
What kind of entertainment did you have on this particular night?
We didn't. There was no entertainment. There was no.
Okay.
No, we didn't have nothing. It was just music. We didn't have no entertainment. It was not.
Okay, so you just had background music from.
Yeah, just background music. It's just good afternoon, Joyce, Miss Joyce. It's just that there's 3 businesses. I wish one day we can take a walk so you guys can see what this look like. It's 4 businesses, 2 and 1, and it's in the middle. So I don't want to say Bohemios has, La Terraza has, La Gran Manzana. It's just the noise in particular in the middle. If you sit in the middle, you would never say, oh, it's coming from here, it's coming from there. And the sergeant, it's not his fault either, because they call, and for some reason, every time they call, it's just Villades. To me, it's just like they throw in Colombia, we have a saying that it's the best tree that gives apples is the one they throw more. It just, they always say the name, but it just is not, we're not loud. And that day, the sergeant can say it. There was no live, there was nothing. There was just a music playing. But I did an upgrade to another sound. I sent the video to Ms. Rebecca so she can show it to you guys. I did another upgrade to see if we can still calm the music down. Whatever I can do to work with you guys, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, we appreciate you. That's what we want to do too. We want to work with you. I just want to try to get a little more information because we have received multiple complaints from neighbors. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. The police report says that when the licensed premise unit pulled up, they could hear the music outside. Sergeant or detective, what would you say? Could you tell it was coming from Bellaris?
Yeah, Miss Joyce, it was I think an earlier day in the week. It wasn't like a Saturday or Sunday where there's usually a lot more street noise. It was a fairly quiet night out in the street, that is. And when we pulled up, we could immediately hear it. We parked the right of the premise down by the municipal lot, then walked across the street and we utilized the sound meter, and the results are what they are. I also put another picture. I'm not sure if you got it, but when the door opens, it pops up to 75. And La Gran Manzana is kind of far away to, be audible. We don't really hear them on occasion. We do hear La Terraza. We have asked them to turn it down, but really wasn't anything going on that night inside. It's true. It wasn't a disc jockey. It was just house music. And once they turned it down, it was fine.
And Freddie, I know that when you do get calls from either us or the licensed premise unit, you do respond and turn it down. What is your on nights like this sounds like it was a generally quiet night in the neighborhood and you were just playing your regular house music. Do you lower the volume at a certain time or do you keep it the same from until closing? That might be something to consider.
Usually low. I want to say from Monday to Thursday, it's usually low because there's really not too much going on. I saw this thing that this is a display that we might be able to put outside. Well, not outside, like somewhere so that everybody sees it and sees what the decibel, so we all can bring our music down, if that will work.
Have you like, do you go outside at 11 o'clock and test?
I
Some
I
other
do.
places
I
do
do.
go out at
I
11,
do.
double
I
check,
do.
can't hear it, okay.
And Sergeant Hernandez not here. I have sent them many times. Somebody was gonna say,
Oh, he's
they have
here.
sent them.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hernandez
he
has
is.
joined us.
Oh, he is. Oh, so perfect. He can vouch for that. I have sent him many times videos and say, hey, look, Sarge, look where I am. Look at this. I'm always trying to work with him. He's really good sergeant and always saying, hey, look, can I send you this video so you can see? I send them videos and pictures of what I'm trying to do. How you doing, Sergeant Hernandez?
How are you, Fernie?
So he could vouch for that if I send them videos and all of that.
Okay, also the neighbors that have complained, do they have a contact number inside Bellaris to call you directly if they have a problem?
Yes, that we Ms. Rebecca helped me with that. We gave them a email and also a phone number. It seems to be that it's only one house, and as I told Ms. Rebecca, why don't we get them fixed? Why don't we get them a? I mean, I'm paying for it, and I know the owner of the houses across the street. I'll pay for it. Soundproof windows. And that will kill every problem that we have. It's only across the street one person who's calling.
Have you talked to them directly about that? Because that's not something we're involved
I
in.
have tried. And I even knocked on the door. But I don't seem to find the person because on across the street, which would be like 30, they say they don't have a problem because they all work until 2 o'clock. By the time they get home, they're not. They all work in kitchens in Boston, so they say that they don't have a problem with it. Then there's 32, and there's only one person in there that never answers the phone or I mean, in the door is the only one that I haven't had a contact. Which I think that's the only person that I have, because if in across the street from Villades, there's only 6 houses. So, but I've been trying to talk to them, and if you guys can have a chance to talk to them and say, look, we can make this better. We can just put soundproof windows, and you have no problems. We have no problem with it. It's like when you live next to the airport, the airplanes, they change the windows. I'm willing to do the same thing. I'll change the windows so they don't have a soundproof. And so they don't have a sound problem, because I wouldn't want somebody, because at least I fixed the one from the rear. We haven't had no problems with the people on the rear. We fixed that automatically. So I'm trying to do the same thing for the front. It would be much easier.
Okay, I'm just concerned, like the testimony from Sergeant Gallagher was that it was a quiet night on the street. It was an earlier day of the week, but when he opened the door, the sound went to 75. So, those are things with your, when you're
Yes.
having nights like this that you should plan for, double checking the sound at various times from various spots, especially if the person across the street from your front door is the one complaining. You should put that in your, you should yourself 11 o'clock go out and double check that, because if the sergeant pull up and hear it, then you should be hearing it too.
I will do that.
And I know you submitted, or somebody from your place submitted video of a sound meter.
I did.
Where was that taken? We couldn't tell from the video.
Across the street. I sent the new video to Ms. Rebecca. I sent them the video with the showing with the across the street. I thought I sent her the right videos, but then yesterday or 2 days ago, I talked to her and I sent her the right videos. You should have the right videos now.
Okay.
And it was with the music off, completely off in Villades. And I sent the video and it still showed, I think it was 60. I don't know. She has it. I sent it to her. I sent her 4 videos in the last couple of days.
Rebecca, were those videos the ones that we talked about this morning? We couldn't tell where he was taking the meter reading from.
He sent another one. So, well, he sent, I think, 2. One was showing the new soundproofing, and then the other video was just showing, with his music off, the noise from other establishments.
Okay, Can you thank you. Can you describe for us, Bernie? I know I'm all jumping all over the place, but
That's okay.
what you did for the new soundproofing?
So with the door is what happens is because it's glass door. So what I did was I grabbed a it's called soundproof it's like a rubber, and we did about 5 inch of sound of that, and then we placed it on above the door, so that like that the sound doesn't come out no more.
Okay.
And also we did the glass where the door is, we put a something that every time the door's closed is really shut, so that it won't come out.
Okay.
I send the video of that too.
And then on this particular night, Sergeant, when you guys showed up in response to the noise complaints, had you called ahead to say you were coming, or was this sort of a random?
This was a we had received the complaint from the lady across the street, and she just feels more comfortable going to us. She doesn't want the interaction with the who she's complaining about. She's that, so she goes to us, and she has our phone numbers. And on nights when we can't get there, Detective Hernandez will contact them via phone or email or text, and they always respond and lower. But we do have a good little system going there. But it shouldn't be. If I understand he's spending all this money, but if it was just turned down a little bit, we wouldn't be spending the money and we wouldn't be here. But we are.
Yeah, I think I have to agree that I think you have to monitor it a little bit more closely.
Will do.
Especially as the night goes on, as it gets closer to 11 p.m. They want to have a quiet evening in their own house, and you have to be more respectful of the fact that as the night goes on, if the outside noise is quieter, your noise is going to travel. Rebecca, do you have any other questions that I did not cover that
No,
you'd like
I do
to
not.
get some answers for? Okay. I don't have any other questions right now.
There are no further questions, then the executive director will take this matter under advisement and will issue a written decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year's.
Thank you. Following the next item, the licensee is Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill LLC, doing business as Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill, located at 1263 River Street in Hyde Park. Date of the incident was November 26th, 2024. It's for music and sound emanating beyond the premise door. Who's present on behalf of the licensee? Oh, looks like you've just muted yourself, Maggie.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
We can hear you. Is it possible for you to turn your camera on so that we can swear you in?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you could please just state your name for the record.
Hello, hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Could you please state your name for the record?
Sure. My name is Marguerite Delburn. I am the GM for Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill. I'm sorry, I have a bad cold, so my voice is a little rough.
Thank you for being with us, Ms. Delburn, and hope you're feeling better soon. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I'll be reading the report, sir. Detective Hernandez.
Thank you very much. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Detective Hernandez. If you could please read the report into the record for the division.
Good afternoon. I'm reading a report written by Michael Sullivan on 0057 on 11/26/2024. Signed Detective Sullivan's attention was drawn to the area of 1267 River Street, Hyde Park Ave, Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill. Loud music could be heard emanating from outside of the licensed premise establishment. This loud music had been heard by the officers of area E18 on the previous weekend, 11/23/2024 and 11/24/2024. Lieutenant Robert Donnarumma reported to Sergeant Sullivan hearing the loud music inside of E18 police station on Hyde Park Ave, some distance away, coming from Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill, both nights after 1 o'clock. At this point, Sergeant Sullivan decided to perform the Code 35 at 1267 River Street, Hyde Park Ave, Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill. Upon arrival at approximately 1 a.m., Sergeant Sullivan could hear very loud music and a disc jockey speaking as he walked on Hyde Park Ave towards 1267 River Street. Once inside of the establishment, the music and DJ were very loud, despite the fact that the doors and all the windows were closed. Sergeant Sullivan entered Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill and spoke to the on-duty manager, Bebeto Cesar, who showed Sergeant Sullivan the entertainment license CAL 542423 from 12/31/2003 with no time listed as the cease entertainment time. However, Sergeant Sullivan was also in possession of a copy of an entertainment license for the establishment dated 6/25/2024, which stated that the cease entertainment license time was midnight. In addition, the license copy calls for noise level shall not exceed 70 decibels and may not exceed 50 decibels between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. per Boston noise ordinance. In addition, the license call for live entertainment permitted until 12 a.m. daily. It was 1 a.m. when Sergeant Sullivan and officers entered the establishment. Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill, LLC, was issued Boston Police Department License Premise Inspection Citation 071256 for violation, music and sound from licensed premise emanating beyond premise door. Bebeto Cesar and the staff were cooperative during this process. The Lima 421 Alpha holder and the Lima 101 Ennis and Gomez assisted with the code 35 and had their body-worn cameras activated. That is all.
Thank you. Ms. Dahlgren, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yeah, I mean, I was informed of the incident the night of. When I get the call, the person we had playing, the DJ we had playing had, because I personally spoke with him to keep the music at a certain level. So when I contacted him, he said that his music wasn't loud, but I wasn't present. So it's very hard. I had the conversation with both Bibito, which was the manager on duty, and the DJ. So they were saying to me that, another DJ reported them. It's not the fact that the music was loud, it's the fact that there's some issue between those two DJs. So they are, have some issues going on, and that's why they were reported. So I'm not exactly sure if that's the excuse me, the truth or not, but ever since then I've been aware of the situation. I've been making sure that the music doesn't go to a certain level past 11 p.m. on the weekdays.
Thank you. Anything further you would like to add before we move to questions? Okay.
I mean, as far as the entertainment license, that was the time was updated to 1 when we updated the alcohol license. I think that we should have that on record, if I'm not mistaken. And I did inform that the DJ and both the manager on duty, Bebeto, that all entertainment has to be shut down by 1 o'clock, which is the time that everything has to be shut down. Like I said, I wasn't present that night, so I read the police report. It is stating that at 1 o'clock is when they arrived. So I was told that they were shutting down. That's when he was making his last announcement. But like I said, it is what is being hearsayed, the report versus what I'm being told.
So Maggie, I'm looking at your entertainment license right now for 2025, and it says in the top half of the license that entertainment is over at 12 a.m. So we don't have any record of you extending your entertainment license past that. So that we recommend that you do, but that's a whole other process. You need to have community meeting and a public hearing.
I believe we went through that process, if I'm not mistaken, because I was working closely with the office. Because when I first tried to change the entertainment license, they had advised me that to make sure that if I was gonna change the entertainment license, my alcohol license, they couldn't extend my entertainment license time without the alcohol license being, extended as well. So when I extended the alcohol license, that's when I believe I sent in the stuff for the entertainment license.
I'll let Rebecca.
I can look back to the email and see.
Okay, it's two different, although I oversee both and I sign my name to both licenses. It's two different processes and two different.
No, I understand that.
And I don't recall a hearing on that or seeing the paperwork, but Rebecca, we can work
I
on that.
don't, yeah, I don't recall receiving any amendment to extend the hours to 1 a.m. on the entertainment. And if I did receive it, we would have contacted you, you would have paid and amended the license, you would have received a new one for 1. If you look at as Kathleen stated, if you look at your 2025 license, it's only until midnight. Only your liquor is until 1. So,
Okay, I will look
yeah.
in my email and see, because I remember the conversation clearly, because I remember we were trying to change the entertainment license first, and that's when, we were advised that if we let the alcohol, go through first, and then from there we can do the entertainment, because they both will be synchronized with the same time. But that's fine. I'll look back in my email, and send you whatever I have.
And okay, and then can you tell me a little bit, when you're not present on a night like this and you're having a DJ, can you tell me how who's ultimately responsible for monitoring the sound from inside and outside? What kind of conversations you have with the staff to prepare them to be operating within the legal limits and stuff?
Yes. I mean, it's something that, has always been a concern, because I do tell them, I mean, me myself, I can't stand the loud music. I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I'm there, I'm always cautious about how loud it is and what's being done. So when I'm not there, I speak with Bebeto, which is the manager on site, and I always tell him, go outside, check the sound, making sure it's not, because the police station is right around the corner. I'm like
Yeah.
making sure it's not, leaving the building, because the police are just a walking distance away. So if anything happened, if it's too loud, they'll hear it from their premises. So I do have that conversation with them, on a regular basis, and I do even advise them not to use the low, because the low is the one that make the sound even louder. I said, if you guys are gonna use a speaker, just use the 2 top speakers to just keep the music at a minimum, especially on a weekday. Nobody wants to be, listening to music that loud at that time. So ever since I got the warning from the inspector, I did revisit that with everyone and had a meeting with them, and I've been trying my very best to be present at every event, even if it's at 1 a.m. I try my very best to be there if I'm not sick, because I realized that was an issue and I don't want that to repeat itself.
Okay, do you have any sort of soundproofing inside?
Um, the well, where the DJ setup is right next to all the glass windows. Even if we have the soundproofing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8 windows, like big, large windows. So it's very hard, other than keeping the music low. It's very hard, even with the soundproof wall, for the glass to, for everything to stay inside. I just heard the previous guy mention something for the door. I'm gonna look into that to see if it's something that we can utilize ourselves, to see if we can put it, what we can do to improve the premises, the facility, so this, issue is no longer an issue. I mean, the police came by the other day. They said that, the music was playing. They said they didn't hear it outside, which was, from afar, which was a good thing, because I've been, keeping that in mind. I've been mindful of that ever since we got that warning, because honest to God, I hate being, being in the presence of you guys, having to explain myself for things like that. So I'm trying my very best, to keep things in order.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the inside of this location, but could you move the DJ booth someplace else if there continue to be issues? Or no?
Yeah, definitely, because where the DJ is right next to the windows, right next to the door. So, I'm assuming the sound is traveling, even faster, and it's louder. So not only I can try to move him, but I've been trying to keep the music lower than what it was, especially on the weekdays. Although we don't have any houses near us, because what we have across from us is Papagino's,
Yeah.
the post office, the Chinese food place. Like it's all business, near us. However, if somebody's complaining, if it's the other DJ or whoever it is, somebody's being disturbed, and we don't want to cause any distraction or disturbance to anyone.
Okay, good. Rebecca, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I don't believe this violation was because of a complaint. I think it was just because the police heard the music from the station. I also received a video from one of the officers just showing them walking towards the restaurant, and you could hear the music very clearly. But definitely what Kathleen said, if you can move the DJ or speakers away from the
Yes.
windows towards the back, and just monitor, make sure, you know, if you're outside your establishment, if you can hear like across the street, then it's definitely too loud and it's most likely above the noise ordinance. I understand there's no residents, but you still have to abide by the noise
Charge, yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah, definitely,
And-
definitely. And what I've had implemented since, every half hour I have somebody go outside
Yeah.
to check. And I also have them download an app to kind of like, you know, on their phone, because I don't have the device yet, to kind of see how loud the music is being played. And also, you know, have them report it to me if I'm not, you know, if I'm not there at the current moment, have them take a screenshot and send that to me, you know, so I can kind of like have some sort of record of what's happening.
And then with the hours, I do recall when you had your initial hearing for live entertainment, you had applied for a 12 a.m. And then I know you wanted a 1 a.m., but because of the timing and your hearing application was only for 12, that's why we didn't do the 1, because that would have delayed everything. So I haven't checked all my emails, but I don't think we have the amendment. If you do want to change to 1 a.m., we just need an amendment form. But until that time, you can only have live entertainment or actually all your entertainment until midnight.
Okay, I will check my email to see if I have the amendment in my email somewhere too. If not, I'll send it today.
I'll
I
send
am
you an email.
homesick, but I'm gonna get on it right away.
I'll send you the form.
Thank you so much.
Hope you feel better. With that, I
Thank
don't
you.
have any other questions. Anybody else?
There are no further questions, and the executive director will take this under advisement as well and will issue a written decision. Those are all of the items before the division this afternoon, so that will adjourn this hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Good day.